Joining us right now is former House Majority Leader and former Texas Congressman Tom DeLay. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Maria. Good to be with you.
First off, a couple of things there that Donald Trump just said. Do you agree that because he's resisting all this money, nobody's going to have anything on him, and that those people who take money are bound to be influenced?
That is so naive. It's just amazing to me. It's the person who's in the office that allows somebody to influence them. So if he's strong, nobody's going to influence him by giving him money. The point is he keeps saying he doesn't want the conservatives, he doesn't want the evangelicals, he doesn't want these donors. How's he going to win?
Well, what is the answer to that? I mean, we've been talking here on set. Anthony Scaramucci's with us today, and he's a major fundraiser. A lot of people are questioning whether or not he's going to be able to get the $1 billion that he needs. And, Anthony, I'll bring you in a second. Go ahead, Congressman.
Well, I'm sure he'll be able to raise the money. The point is that right now he's not showing that he understands that he's got to put together a huge coalition in order to overcome the already natural electoral college votes that Hillary's already got.
Yeah.
I mean, he's starting off from behind, and what he's doing is he's constantly cutting off the very people that he needs to bring in to build a coalition. It's really stupid politics.
Does he understand this, Anthony Scaramucci? You've been spending time with him.
I think one of the narratives, one of his winning narratives, is by slamming around the establishment and making fun of the elites. It sort of helped him in the middle America. But Congressman, I have a question for you. If you were his campaign strategist and you were sitting down with him right now and you were going to offer him some direct advice, what would that be?
Well, my first advice would be start thinking in visions, not in issues and little policy nuggets. He needs to present to his base that he needs to win over a vision for how he wants to carry America forward. Just putting a slogan on a cap doesn't get it. He's got to bring people together. He's got to convince people that he is real and that you can trust him and that he has the same values as his base has, or he's not going to go anywhere.
So what do you think he needs to be doing then in that regard? I mean, from a practical standpoint, what's the advice then? Start reaching out to some of these big donors? Start listening to them? No? Okay.
No, what I would do is what I've been calling for during this whole primary. I would call for a revolution for the Constitution. I would invoke the Constitution and stand on that principle. That sends a message to all the conservatives all over this country. It also sends a message that he understands how this country was created, how prosperity is created by standing on the Constitution, and that gives him the opportunity to build a vision. Right now, playing these little games back and forth, oh, I'm for the Second Amendment, or I'm for this, or I'm for that, that doesn't send a message to the base. Right now, he needs to be working on the base, not establishment against the base or establishment against Trumpsters. He needs to be working on the base.
So when you say stand on the Constitution, you're saying make sure that you reiterate the principles of the Republican Party and the Constitution over and over again. So donors, voters, everybody understands that's where your heart is, rather than having these mixed messages.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, take the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
It's not in the Constitution that we need 9 justices on the Supreme Court. He could talk about maybe we ought to have 7 justices on the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court to the base is lawless. It's been lawless for years, and he needs to take on the Supreme Court as an enemy to the country.
Understood. Michael Block.
Yeah, Congressman, let's assume that for some reason, Mr. Trump isn't watching the program and listening to your advice right now about getting the base, giving the base what they need to join the camp here. Let's say we're getting closer to, the election. It's looking neck and neck. Does the base suddenly say, wait a minute, we don't want to be looking at 4 to 8 years of Hillary Clinton? They come over. Maybe is that possible? Do you see that playing out at all?
No, I don't right now. I really don't, because look at his unfavorables, and look at the fact that the latest polls over the last week, 30% of the base is not going to vote for Donald Trump right now. So he's got a lot of work to do to bring that base together just to get started in a general election. Now, They may, and a lot of them will stay home. Look at how many stayed home for Romney, who's a completely different person with high values and should have attracted a lot of the base, but they stayed home. There's 2 to 3 times that many that will stay home unless he energizes them and gives them a reason to go vote.
Yeah. Well, what do you make of the vice presidential pick? I mean, who do you think represents the kind of traits that Donald Trump has been talking about? He's been talking about someone with real political experience. Who do you think would resonate with the base?
Well, I think any one of the candidates that ran in this primary would be good. Of course, my picks would be something like Ted Cruz. Or if you want to go to someone even younger, how about Tom Cotton, the senator from Arizona? I mean, that's a perfect signal to the base.
Well, he's meeting with Bob Corker today. What do you think about the Bob Corker idea? Because they're having a meeting today.
Bob Corker is way too moderate for the base. Way too moderate. He's got to send a message that he'll listen to conservatives.
Congressman, thanks so much for your insights. We so appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you, Maria.
Congressman Tom DeLay. Good to see you, sir.